whenever a threat exists, unmanned vehicles can tackle the danger without putting a human operator at risk. And in the oceans, one of the greatest and oldest threats lurks deep beneath the surface.
In war at sea, over the last few decades, the mine has actually been the most effective weapon. Warships have been lost to the mine than anything else, and highly sophisticated warships taken out by this relatively unsophisticated technology that, dates back more than 100 years.
Mines can lie silently in wait for months or even years, and disarming them manually is extremely dangerous.
The mine threat's been around a very long time, and the traditional way of dealing with a mine on the seabed is either to use a remotely operated vehicle with a big bomb, or to put a diver into the water, to go up to it and maybe even feel the mine, touch the mine, and then place a disposal charge against it.
You're hunting for explosives in murky water, and of course you may be doing this in a hostile environment. That is, you may be doing demining operations, but also you've got someone shooting at you at the same time.
It's the perfect job for an unmanned system, like our number 4 choice, the Talisman Robotic Mini Submarine. Equally at home in shallow waters or at depths of up to 300 meters, the Talisman is the first of its kind.
The Talisman, as a UUV, is absolutely unique. It's the only system that carries not only the detection sensors, but the weapons to destroy a mine in the same mission. Its primary function is to identify, classify, and then uniquely to dispose of that mine. Once you've identified a mine and confirmed it's a mine, you hold station with Talisman. The operator launches the weapon, the archerish weapon, guides it to the target, no more than 5 to 10 minutes, and bang, goodbye target. It means the ship is a long way back. It means the man is a long way back. So you're using the remote technology to go and do the dirty work.
Everything from the innovative hull design to the fully autonomous control software went from drawing board to first sea trials in record time.
Talisman was designed in 7.5 months. This is almost unique for a military program.
Like many of the most successful unmanned systems, the Talisman is already evolving beyond its original intended purpose.
We needed a degree of innovation in the project, so we went to think about what new materials we could use. And the most obvious one was carbon fiber composite, which is what the motor racing industry use. And that gets the weight down, which is very important underwater in a system like ours. But it also allows us to have the sleek, mean, special shape. It's all about minimizing the underwater drag so we can go further and for longer.
Basically envision it as a miniature submarine, and all the things that a miniature submarine could do, it could do just without sending humans into harm's way. So it can be used for surveillance.
Go into an area of interest underwater, pop up to the surface, operate the sensors, collect all the information, dive again, and disappear without anyone even knowing you've been there.
You could even potentially arm it to take out not just merely stationary mines, but maybe another ship. You send it into an enemy harbor, drop a couple mini torpedoes, boom, you take it out without having to risk your own people.
The Talisman unmanned submarine can work at depths of almost 1,000 feet below the surface, making it supremely stealthy. It's fully autonomous and highly adaptable, making it an ultimate weapons favorite.
This is the way forward. This is the vision of the future, where we take the man out of the minefield, we no longer put a diver into the water, and we do it all remotely with unmanned autonomous technology.
Unmanned vehicles have come a long way in just over a decade, and their evolution owes a lot to our next system. At number 3, it's the original of the species. With more than 14 years of active service, this is the Predator.
It flies over 30 hours, goes over 50,000 feet.
If you lose your link with the airplane, it will automatically come home.
It can see without being seen.
The radar can penetrate through clouds, can see at night.
If you don't know it's there, somebody didn't tell you it was there, you won't see it.
And in 2001, it became the first UAV to successfully deploy weapons.
Once the Predator had missiles on it, then a lot less targets got away.
The enemy doesn't know when the next shot is coming. They don't even know when the first shot is coming.
Once you're on our screen, you're not going anywhere.
So it's deadly accurate.
When the Predator unmanned aerial vehicle first took off in 1994, it heralded a new generation of military hardware. Controlled by radio or satellite link, the aircraft can be on the other side of the world while the pilot stays safely on the ground. But the skills required to fly it are essentially the same.
You need to be a pilot so you can talk on the radio, you know what your approach is, you can tell people where you're at, because you're really an airplane. So it's just like a cockpit on the ground, and you need to have that pilot mentality so you don't, get in the wrong airspace, or understand how important it is where you are with respect to other aircraft.
The gimbal, mounted underneath the airframe, houses the Predator's all-important sensor payload.
The radar is all-weather. It can penetrate through clouds, can see at night. It sees broad area, long distances, and we use that for detection and location of potential targets or surveillance.
It does coherent change detection. You can fly over an area, come back the next day, maybe where drug runners are running through, fly that area again, and it'll overlay the two images and tell you if there's footprints on the ground.
You say, hey, you know what, this is a new thing of interest. Let's key point on this, and let's keep our focus, our attention on this spot.
It's streaming video. It's watching live TV, and that information is available from takeoff to land.
And it's not just the ground crew who can receive the Predator's images.
It can be on the President's desk or the Secretary of Defense's desk on a TV screen. It can be delivered to a small little television receiver to a special ops guy riding a horse through Afghanistan.
The first version to take to the sky was called the Predator A. Still in use today, it operates at a lower altitude than later models.
You could read somebody's license plate from 15,000 feet, so you don't need to be any lower. You're away from most ground threats when you're up at that altitude.
This spy in the sky soon proved its worth when it was first deployed in the Balkan states, Iraq, and Afghanistan in the mid-1990s.
The Predator actually could zoom in from about 6 to 8 miles away from certain high-value targets, and you could identify the vehicles that they were in and also what type of building they had gone into.
But it soon became clear that just identifying the target wasn't enough.
What they would do before the Predator had the missiles on it, when they would locate targets and then they have to wait for a manned airplane to come in and shoot the target.
Sometimes there was a delay in getting aircraft to the area. The Air Force decided they want to push forward for a weaponized Predator, and within a very short period of time, about a 6-week period of time, they were able to integrate the Hellfire missile on board the Predator A, which gave it that almost 100-killer capability.
Once the Predator had missiles on it, then a lot less targets got away. You could see it, get clearance to shoot and shoot.
This success paved the way for the larger, fully weaponized Predator B, which flies at even greater altitudes, increasing its stealth capabilities.
Well, it's not a stealth aircraft per se, but obviously, like Predator A operating at 15 to 20,000 foot altitude, very hard to see. I mean, if you don't know it's there, if somebody didn't tell you it was there, you won't see it. Predator B, its best cruise area is above 30,000 feet. You don't see it either.
It flies over 30 hours, goes over 50,000 feet, and will carry 3,000 pounds of weapons. So it's got a lot going for it.
Once you get in on a strike mission, it's basically your pinpoint focus on exactly what you're going to do. I mean, I can hear my heartbeat going. It's one shot. You may have one shot, one kill for this thing to take care of the situation. So you definitely tense up. You see the mood in the GCS becomes a lot more serious. Everyone's focused. There's no joking around, no banter. Only mission-specific information is getting related at that time.
And once a Predator B gets you in its sights, there's no place to hide.
The turret that houses the cameras also houses a laser designator. So they put that spot on the ground where they want to drop the bomb or shoot the missile, and they just line all that up and pickle the bomb, and it goes. It's deadly accurate.
It is obviously a very important asset to the military. Some operations just don't happen unless Predator's flying above them.
The Predator is one of the most combat-proven robotic platforms there is, and the addition of Hellfire missiles also makes it one of the deadliest.